everybody. It is day 8 of the challenge. And it's a very important day for me. I'm gonna share it with you. This is probably one of the most personal stories that I could tell you. And the story I'm about to share with you has changed my life completely. Today, this Friday of this week, a year ago, I was extraordinarily sick with COVID. I had been down with COVID for a week now. I had 102 to 103 fever every day. I was laying in bed, unable to do much of anything. Every time I moved, I started into the worst coughing fit. So I tried very hard not to move. I would lay there for hours, as still as I possibly could, until my bladder was busting and I had to get up. And then I would have coughing. Oh, it was horrible. And then I'd get back in bed and I would lay still for however many hours I could. I was hardly eating anything. I was hardly drinking anything. At this point, after 7 days, I think I had probably lost 8 pounds. I was hanging on. I was pretty sure I had COVID, although this time last year, there were no COVID tests unless you were admitted into the hospital. That was the only time you could be tested. And there were only a handful of COVID cases in El Paso County at the time. But I saw the symptoms, the growing list of symptoms on the TV every day, and I checked every box. And I had 2 ladies, there's a house call service now, I think it's called Dispatch or something like that here in Colorado Springs, that they will come to your house if you're really sick. And 2 ladies had come on Tuesday, and they had tested me for the flu, and I didn't have the flu. They gave me anti-nausea medication because I had the nausea, and they gave me an inhaler because my bronchial tubes were really upset with all the coughing, and that was pretty much all they could do. But they did say to me, they said, "We think you have COVID because we've seen 2 other people with it, and you look and present just like they did." And they told me to watch it and be careful, and if I had any problems, to make sure to get medical help. So that was Tuesday, and now it's Friday, and I was still sick as a dog. Just sick. Couldn't do anything. Only a handful of people knew I was sick, and the ones that did were checking in with me every day. My friend Patty, my friend Jan, my friend Robert. I had people checking in on me by text. I couldn't really talk because that started the coughing as well. And I had a friend from Australia call me, and she was talking to me, and she said, I was telling her that I was really sick, but I was hanging in there. And she said to me, she said, "Vivian, don't muck about." And that's Australia speak for don't mess around. If you feel like you're really sick, then make sure you get help. And those words really stuck with me. And I'm glad they did. And that's tomorrow's story. So check on why that was important tomorrow. But what happened to me on this day, and what has changed my life and changed this year for me, as even though I was really sick, towards the evening, I started getting really comfortable, really peaceful. And I felt this incredible sense of well-being and an incredible sense of love. I was surrounded by love. I could feel it. And I just felt so at peace. And I didn't have one negative thought in my head. It was incredible. I wish I had the right words and the right language to really express to you this feeling that I experienced. It was total contentment. It was just euphoria almost. And I thought, this is strange. I'm really sick. Why do I feel all of a sudden so at peace and awesome? And I remembered hearing about when people start freezing to death, that they get a sense of euphoria and comfort, and they don't feel the cold anymore, and they just kind of go to sleep and drift away. And that's what happened in my mind. And I thought, wow, I could just so easily drift away towards this unbelievable, beautiful, peaceful love that I'm feeling. And then I thought about my kids. And I thought about how devastated they would be if I left. I didn't think about me. I didn't have any fear. I didn't have any concern about that. It was just about them. I didn't want to hurt them. So, you know how we hear about athletes that visualize the win? They visualize their game. They visualize making the winning shot, the winning basket, the winning touchdown. It's all about visualization, manifestation. And so that's what I did. We had the little pictures of the little ball with all the little corona crown, little things, spiky things. So I visualized those. And then I visualized this little army, and I put little helmets on them and swords and shields, and I sent them down. And interestingly enough, I had no idea I had COVID pneumonia, but I had pneumonia at that time. And interestingly enough, I sent them to my chest, to my lungs. And I visualized as hard as I could this little raging battle of my little guys with their swords and their shields, slashing away and destroying all those little coronavirus spiky things. I visualized this raging war going on inside my chest. I cannot forget that feeling that I experienced. that love, that immense, incredible love. And it took me a while after I got better to really process all that. But it's changed everything for me. And one thing that I've really come to realize over this past year, we as humans, we operate at a fraction of our potential, of our capability, a fraction. We have the capacity to do so much better than we do. And I have started, after this experience, I have started spreading the message that I got that day, that it's all about love. It's all about loving each other. Love is the only thing we can take with us. And we need to do a much better job. Our planet, our lives, our societies would be so much different if we accessed our capability of being able to love the way we're supposed to. That's what I learned. And I also clearly won the battle, won the war. My little guys with their swords and their shields. And I think part of that is so that I can spread this message. This is what my contest speech is about. It's what my keynote is about. And it's a message that needs to be heard. And I was afraid for a very long time, for months, to say a word about what happened that night, a year ago tonight. But now I'm not afraid. And I am. I'm going to tell the world. And I'm not going to be afraid. Tomorrow, I'll give you the rest of the story, and we will move on from COVID. But this has been a tough week for me, reliving all of this. It was an incredibly profound experience. The whole illness, the whole losing my hair afterward, the recovery, the months and months of the long haulers syndrome. But it's worth it, because I get to spread the word. It's all about love. See you tomorrow.